Alright guys, hi, welcome back. It's another Zento sales snippet. I'm going to get this name right. I'm with Taryn Delaton.
That's correct.
Or, what do we normally say? What do we normally call you?
Najon Delaton.
Yeah, what do you always say?
Najon Delastang.
Delastang,
yeah.
Yeah. So Taryn's from Loftus Leisure Centre in Leederville, which is under the Belgravia banner, one of the... How many centres with the Belgravia now?
Well, we've got 3 sites in Perth,
yep.
And well over 30 in the eastern states, from Queensland down to Adelaide.
Absolutely, so you guys are taking over the world.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, cool. And we're talking sales. So
yes.
I've grabbed Taryn because Taryn's going off to have a baby in about 5 weeks.
That's correct, yes.
So we're just grabbing Taryn. Taryn's been in the industry for many years, and probably one of those people who is absolutely fastidious about sales. It comes from the old school of accountability, micromanagement, using the big stick with the nails poking through, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So probably the first question, Taryn, with the trainings that I'm doing with your guys, we're always talking about the skills that they need and I guess the type of person we'd hire into the membership sales consultant role. What have you seen as the change? We had a chat this morning, the change between the consultants you used to get and the consultants you currently have to bring in to work in your centres.
Yeah, it's all changed, I guess. We're dealing with the Y generation, the YG. So I guess I've had to change the way that I manage my sales staff now. It used to be every 5 minutes I'd check on them, make sure they were doing this, they're doing their calls, making their sales ratios are correct according to the KPIs. But now I guess I have to turn a blind eye to a lot of it. There's a lot more play.
It hurts, doesn't it?
It kills me. It absolutely kills me.
It does, yeah.
And I think they believe that I don't know what's going on, but I do. But I just have to let it go, and I guess manage them the way that they differently, much differently. Yeah. So over the 4 years, it's evolved towards that. I was finding otherwise I was going through 2-3 consultants every three or 4 months. So. And
I think that's what a lot of the guys watching, especially from our era of sort of being in the industry for a while, to manage the way we used to, we were just churning consultants. So are we saying the consultants are still selling as well, or are they...
They're still selling, absolutely. I will keep them on if they're still selling, and they are a typical Y generation. So as long as they're getting their units per week, I'm happy at the end of the day. So if they're not, that's when I come in and start doing a little bit more micromanaging and assessing, well, are they the right person? Do we keep them on? Do we look at moving them on? But more often than not, I mean, I've had 2 consultants now who are your typical Y generation, and they've been on board for over 12 months, and they get their 10 to 15 units per week. So a lot of playtime. But that's something I've just have to accept now, as long as we're getting our sales.
I think that's the balance. I just worked with the guys for a few hours. If you don't give them the playtime, you sort of disconnect with them. They've got to have that fun factor. If they enjoy it, they'll sell and they'll enjoy it.
Absolutely.
But if they don't, then they lose it.
And they kind of rebel. So and then at the end of the day, they'll move on. So if I can see that they've got the selling ability, then I, like I said, turn a blind eye to the playtime, as long as they're making the sales.
Are they hungry? In the old days, we had hungry salespeople who did everything to get across the line. Are these guys as hungry, but in a different way?
They are, disposable income, I guess. They're hungry to go out and just spend their money on shopping and holidays and things like that. So approving a lot more holidays and things like that as well. Normally it would, no, you can't do that. But working with a new generation, it's like, well, if I give them 2 weeks holiday, they're going to be far more productive when they come back. So you just have to do it,
What about the system? So that's kind of more the skills, so to hiring more the generation Y, we've got to manage them differently. How have the systems changed in the way that everything used to be so documented and really sort of micro to the point of scripted, and everything was very much structured? Has that changed a lot for you?
Absolutely, a lot more flexibility now. So I guess their personality comes out in the way that they sell. Ideally, I'd love to stick to the system and follow it to a T, but it's knocking your head against the wall, just purely frustrated. So this way their personality comes out. We don't sit down and idolise each stat. We look at more of it as a whole, and we possibly do it maybe
strategically, we say.
Strategically, that's right. And I guess even down to their price presentations, we had that structure in place, but they use their own way of selling, I guess, to be able to get it across the line. And at the end of the day, if they sell it, then so be it, they sell it. So
It's
more
more
often
of a-
than, yeah, I mean, as long as you're monitoring your leads that
Yeah.
come in and your walk-ins,
Yeah.
and they're selling them, doesn't matter how they sell it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it more of a, you just provide that framework and they kind of
The
operate
frame-
within the framework?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about the lead generation? Some of the stuff we talked about this morning was, how do we get leads? And in the old days, the old days we used to, hit the ground, go out there and do a lot of sort of proactive lead generation. Is that as prevalent now, or is it very much relying on getting people in the door from your perspective?
Yeah, there's a lot more pressure on us
Yeah,
as
yeah.
managers to go out there and get the leads in for them. I mean, I've tried saying you need to do this, you need to do that,
Yeah.
put your own flair to it, go out and show me what you get.
Mhm.
But unless you're driving them
Yeah.
every 5 minutes, which
Yeah.
you can't do,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. So that whole, I found that that's not really working either. So
Mm.
I'm doing a lot more of the lead generating.
Yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What about training-wise? I mean, obviously you get in external people like me to come in and help.
Mhm.
You're very skilled in sales and you've done it. Why do you bring external people in? Why have they been hanging around here for a while? What's the reason for you?
Just to bring a fresh face in,
Yeah.
I guess, because it doesn't matter how many times you tell them, they know.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that way if I bring like yourself in, then you can reiterate what I'm trying to explain to them, and
Do you do a lot of regular training with the guys, or is it sort of...
not as much
Not as much?
anymore, no.
Yeah.
I guess because they've been on board for over 12 months now,
Yep.
and they are getting the sales,
Yep.
I've given them a lot more flexibility.
Yeah.
And I will walk in and say, guys, I know you're doing a lot of mucking around, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You haven't done your sales.
Yeah.
Knuckle down,
Yeah.
and they make the calls, they get the sales in.
A bit like
So,
kids, really, aren't they?
absolutely.
So you let them go to a point that's like, hang on, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So you bring them back, and
Yeah.
interesting.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been in the industry for? How long now?
Over 10 years.
Cool. So from a sales perspective, what do you see the change where, if we sat here in 5 years' time, given sort of like the old days, what it used to be like, where do you see the sales process, the sales people? What do you see it looking like in 5 or 10 years' time from where you're sitting?
I think it'll be very flexible.
Okay.
I think we all need to move with the times.
Yep.
And I guess in WA it's kind of unique as well, because we are going through a big shortage of staff. Unemployment is at an all-time low, so everyone is wanting to go up to the mines and
Lots of money.
and make lots of money. So
Instantly,
we're just not getting the quality that we
Yeah.
once were able to pick from. So I think as managers we need to evolve with that and move with the times. So.
Would you think we'll move away from having dedicated sales staff? Would it be more sort of everyone's multitask, there's more online membership sales, there's different ways of doing it?
No, I think we would still need the
Yep.
dedicated sales staff, absolutely,
So
yeah.
that's
But
fine.
just not as regimented
Yeah.
as what it once was, yeah.
Last question, crystal ball stuff, where's the industry going? So you've seen the box clubs, you've seen the leisure centres. What do you think the industry's going to look like, and what's going to be the flavour of the month in the 5 years' time?
Cheaper memberships.
Really?
That's the biggest price,
Wow.
obligation that we have at the moment. Is
Yeah.
Well, obligation.
The challenges?
Yeah, challenges is the cost of a health club membership.
Yeah.
So
Do you think it'll come down a lot?
I think it will balance out. I think it hiked up. We
Yep.
went through a year of, average a couple of years ago was $500 to $600, and now it's getting up over $1,000
Yep.
a year for a membership.
Do you think
So
it'll drop back
I
down
think
again?
it'll
Yeah.
drop down or just plateau off
Okay.
for a bit. Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting future.
Mm.
Well, good luck with the little munchkin.
Thank you.
And it's been another Zento Sales Snippet. Thank you, Taryn. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.